welcome back here with Callum Knox, double Dissonance Podcast. We're not actually eating food or walking around, so the audio will be of spectacular quality this time.
Yeah, well, we apologise for the lack of pool.
Yeah, jump in, make a good video.
And eating and walking around.
Yeah. No background
Eating
noise.
food with our mouths open.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
So when was the last time I saw you? Last time was probably at Commercial Club.
Oh no, you were in Sydney briefly. A few months ago.
Yeah, before Christmas.
Yeah. Just before Christmas.
But we did. Oh, that's why we did the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah,
the impromptu one.
Yeah, we did a weird impromptu one, and then you were meant to come up like 2 weeks ago, and then you bailed. I marked out my whole week.
Yeah, you blocked it
in
out.
anticipation, and you didn't even turn up. So.
And I'm just now known not only as the internet organist, but the fill-in organist, because the last 2 recitals I've done is because the other organist couldn't play.
You're like Australia's greatest deputy organist.
Someone told me when I was at Bowral, like some musicians have made their careers from just being available. So I'm banking on that.
No, it's true. Like a lot of people, I know lots of organists who will say no to lots of things because they think they're kind of above a gig. But then you say no to 10 kind of average gigs that pay $150 to $200, and then that's like $2,000 that you've lost. So like, say yes to the crappy stuff. Like I've always said yes to crap stuff.
Yeah. So why am I here? Why am I here?
Why are you here?
Why am I here?
No, you're playing one of Sydney's famed organs, but they do have a nice console. St Stephen's, Macquarie Street.
Yeah. I haven't played this since 2017. The consoles, they've got a sequencer, that's all that matters to me. They
do have a sequencer, and you can see, like, that console used to be so dark, and like, the pedal board was just pitch black, so you couldn't see anything.
Yeah. I have played it before then with Titus, we played a duet, but I haven't played a recital on it since 2017. Yeah, alright, well we didn't start off with the usual thing, is your dating life, so give us a quick update. Yeah,
well I'm back back on. I have a girlfriend now, so that's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's been about a year now. I was single for about a year.
Yeah.
So it was time. And then our loyal followers will know I've been, I've been pretty proactive in the scene, and that's just starting to pay dividends.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll get to meet her May.
Oh yeah. Well. In for a treat.
Yeah. You can do another podcast. You can be the special guest.
Oh, she's in for a treat. She's a special guest.
That's in May. End of May. So you're going to play a recital or something.
I think she'll very much be a bystander to most of our conversation.
Okay. Does she like organ talk?
Oh,
Will she tolerate organ talk?
Well, I brought her out once with organ friends, and she tolerated it pretty well.
Yeah.
But I think there is a point where enough is enough.
I don't think we talk about organs that much. We're not like obsessed with.
Well, like we're not
the composition of a pipe or something.
I've never been someone who likes just talking about stop lists and swell boxes. Like I know a lot of people love that, and that's great. I'm just like, there's if you're like truly friends with someone, you've probably got a lot more things to talk about. Yeah. We're just usually like talking smack about other organists most of the time.
Why is that?
But that's what all organists do. That's what even organists, musicians
do that in general. We're not nice to each other.
Even though we make mistakes all the time, and there are probably people saying horrible things behind our backs too. Graham. But I don't know. It's just a nature of musician. We make fun of each other. And most of it's just light-hearted.
Yeah.
It's very rarely like a proper criticism.
Now, I wrote a list of things to get through to be efficient
This is
without
unusual.
Shadow. Yeah, very unusual.
Unusual behaviour.
So you're in your final year now of university. You're preparing for your final recital, and you got plans. So give us a quick rundown of what's happening with your last year of uni.
So last year of uni is mainly, it's all just working towards the final recital, and the final recital is just a big, you play an hour of music, and it's all just marked, and it's pretty much, you just try and play a big variety of things and show off everything you've learnt in the last 4 years. And I'm nervous about it because it's a big deal for me, but it's not the be all and end all, you know. I want it to be amazing, obviously.
It's not like it's the last recital we ever do.
No, and I think it's kind of an unhealthy way of looking at it through just stressing about it the whole year.
Mm-hmm.
Could lead to disaster on the day where I turn up and I realise I've been thinking about this every day for the last year. So just have to kind of, it's hard because you're working towards it all year, and I'm learning the pieces already, and some of them I've already learnt, all the notes too.
When's the recital date? November
the 6th, if anyone's in Sydney. At lunchtime,
November 6th.
Monday the 6th of November.
It's not like your whole career will end if...
No. And it's pretty rare someone fails one. So, as long as I didn't fail, I'd still get through, but obviously you want to get a good mark.
Yeah. You want to end on a high note.
I want it to be kind of the best thing I've done so far, because it's the accumulation of 4 years of study. And
so what are the kind of the pieces? You probably haven't sorted out the complete program, but what?
Oh no, I've sorted it out.
Yeah,
well,
okay. Here we go.
It's not set in stone, but the current likelihood is I'm going to bookend the thing, the recital with the Bach E flat major.
Why am I laughing?
Why are you laughing? I used to not like this piece. I used to think it was very long and tiring, but I'd never played it before. I'd just listened, and I'd listened to kind of.
You listened to me.
I'd listened to.
I don't like this
No,
piece.
not you, but I listened to parish organists playing it on kind of average organs with no acoustic, and
it's a banger.
it's an incredible piece. It's that triple fugue is incredible. The last fugue is just mind blowing. So I think it's just played so much. It's like the Vidor Toccata or something, and it's not obviously it's a better piece than the Vidor, but it's one of those organists here, these pieces over and over again, and if you haven't really probably got into it, you don't really understand why.
Yeah. That's where you're going to bookend the piece. Yeah, recital.
Yeah, so the prelude at the start and the fugue at the end.
Yeah.
Some people are a bit iffy about having the fugue at the end, but I think there's two pretty good reasons to have it at the end, and it's because that's the way Bach designed it to be. He put it at either end of the Klavierübung.
Yeah.
And
Übung. So I'm just
Übung,
whatever it is.
Sorry, Germans. And also just it's just incredible. The fugue, it kind of reminds me of the end of the B minor Mass or something. It's just these massive fugues that just it's not like you have to have huge
the time
cadenzas
signature
and stuff.
change.
Yeah, and all that. Well, it's all in 3, which is obviously the Trinity and everything. But
I find the middle
so
section of that fugue difficult. The manuals only part.
Yeah.
It's really curly.
I'm kind of learning that at the moment, and it's just how those repeated kind of seconds which catch you, but you just gotta practice slow and you'll be fine. There's a few bits as well where the voices crossover. Yeah.
So what's in the middle?
What else? So after the Bach, I'm actually playing a lesser known piece by Reger. It's the intermezzo from his first organ symphony.
Okay.
Or is it sonata? No, it's sonata. Sorry, not symphony.
Right, you love Rega.
I like a bit of Rega.
What did you play? You played some toccata and...
The toccata and fugue in D minor
you played
from the
all
12. The 12 Stuka.
You need one of those roller swell pedals.
Yeah, I know. Well, German romantic organs are so like hoofy and they just sound very fat.
Yeah.
I'm actually not the biggest fan, but then again, I haven't played one before, so
The
maybe
score would look ridiculous for that piece.
Yeah. The toccata is crazy, but this intermezzo is a really nice. It's a really nice break from the Bach because it's soft.
You got
but then there's this big
minutes,
crescendo.
almost 10 minutes of plano, and then
exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's this huge crescendo with these like pedal octaves. It's very dramatic, and then it calms down again. It's also good for the organ at the conservatorium because it's neo-baroque, but it's definitely Handel's German.
It's got a swell box.
Yeah, it's got a swell box
at the very top.
And it's it's like sitting right at the top. You can see the shutters open and close.
So you can be marked on your use of swell pedal because I can actually see the shutters moving.
Yeah, but it also handles German romantic music a lot better than it handles like French romantic music.
So what are you doing for French romantics? You obviously got to have that in your program.
Well, I've got the two things: the Dupré G minor prelude and fugue. Yeah. That's going to be after. I'm going to have the Buxtehude Magnificat. Yeah. After the Rega. Yeah. And then I'll have the Dupré G minor prelude and fugue. Which is a great piece actually. There's the fugue. There are some very inappropriate words to the fugue, but I definitely can't say them on camera.
I don't actually know the piece.
It goes. The prelude's kind of a toccata, but very soft. Yeah. And it's really tricky. And then there's this one point where the pedals are playing like these triads. Yeah. And it's so it's really hard. Really good technical exercise. And then the fugue is this dotted rhythm. It's very Dupré. It's silly, but Dupré is all silly.
You're gonna play Bach like Dupré.
play Dupré like Bach. Because this Dupré is pretty percussive. Yeah. I mean, it's still like legato at the core, but the fugue subject is very aggressive. It's not like. It's an angry piece. Yeah.
And what else?
So after that, I'm going to play the Vierne for Flores.
Oh, really? Which is that piece,
It was really, really tricky. It's one I'm only like learning.
I heard Sam Giddy play that.
Yeah. It just has to be. It's just technically really difficult.
I remember I had a lot of Dupré music, and I think that piece as well. I just gave it all to you because I'll never be able to play it. I gave some scores. It was a while ago. I just I'm never going to play these. You can have these scores.
Yeah. Well, likewise, I'll give you all the kind of 20th century Australian, 21st century Australian.
They're hard to play. Some of the Colin Brumby stuff that's difficult.
Well, some of it's hard because it's.
Well, it's not what we used to.
Yeah, well, the organ repertoire is so amazing. There's so much good music. Yeah. I know everyone's different, but for me, I don't want to. I mean, you can't learn the entire organ repertoire.
No, it's just pick and choose what you want.
And I want to learn all the best music. I want to play all the Bach and all. Yeah. All the great French.
You're finally going to play the E flat. Finally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you're finishing off with the E flat.
Yeah. Finish off with the fugue. Yeah.
Hauptwerk at St James. How's that been going? Because you haven't got the Dobson yet. How's Hauptwerk been working in a liturgical situation at one of Sydney's premier churches?
Yeah, so anyone who doesn't know, my church, St James, King Street, is we've got a new organ from Dobson being built for us, and it's coming over, being delivered. Well, it'll be built next year, so it'll be done by the middle of next year. But the old organ has already been removed, so we've got a Hauptwerk system in there at the moment. Look, like, it's been a tumultuous time, because the organ that was bought initially was in really poor condition. Like, the console has been sitting in the previous owner's garage for a while, and we kind of thought when we bought it just needed like a deep clean.
When I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's such a good deal.
Yeah, well, on paper it's a great deal.
Yeah, it was a really nice console. It looks nice.
So,
I hope to get to see it later.
Yeah, I'll show you later. But in the buyer's defence, I didn't buy it, but in the buyer's defence, and you would agree, like, it looked great on the internet, and it was only when it arrived you realise how poor the condition was.
Yeah.
So it was all dusty, and it was given a deep clean, but the keyboards, like, notes were sticking everywhere, like both physically and like electronically, that was sticking down as well. So we had this problem for months, and eventually we just came to the conclusion that we needed new keyboards. So Ian Sell went and built us some new keyboards, which have worked really well since.
All three?
Yeah, all three manuals. But hang on, can I blow my nose? I've got like...
I'll go get the tissues. It's in the bathroom.
Mate, I'm just tearing up.
You're tearing up. Why are you tearing up?
I hate Hauptwerk.
Yeah.
Can we make me a silhouette like in those crime dramas? And like give me like a really deep voice, so I'm anonymous.
So your St James Hauptwerk is going okay now.
So it's working fine now, except it's just there's an interesting thing. I'm not sure how well suited Hauptwerk is to big buildings, to churches. Like, it works amazing in a flat, and there are plenty of examples out on the internet, and like and you know, at the conservatorium we have practice Hauptwerk, which is really good.
I don't like how it hits my knee though. That's only one criticism I have of the Norlander. It's a bit. I don't find it as comfortable as other consoles.
No, but that's a console issue. That's not a Hauptwerk issue. But consoles, bad consoles. That one is really annoying. I don't know what the builders were thinking, putting the swell box, like, the swell box is like up at your shin when you're playing, so you're kicking it all the time, and Anyway, I only ever play like Baroque stuff on that Hauptwerk because it's just impossible to maneuver the swell pedal. Anyway, the sound is very kind of muffled, and it's just very loud and boomy in the church. Yeah, and I don't think that's...
You've got the acoustic from the sample set, and then you've got the acoustic from the room.
Exactly. It's not any criticism towards like the builder of that organ. It's just
you can
very
combine
loud.
Two acoustics,
and anything soft is just like muddy. Yeah. And then anything loud, just the louder it gets, the more plastic it becomes.
Yeah, I understand.
So it works for the liturgical side and everything. Like, it's loud, and so people will sing the hymns and everything. And I think it's still better than, in my opinion, it's still better than
some other digital organs,
like non-Hauptwerk.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to go over there and see. Hear and see for myself.
Yeah. I'll give you a special tour.
Take the camera along with me.
Yeah.
And you can play the A flat.
So I don't know how ready that is for public display.
And final question, because you got to get to class. When I was checking into the hotel, the woman asked me, oh yeah, so special visit, what are you doing? And I had to think about, I'm like, do I say that I played the organ, I'm doing a recital, because they may or may not understand and I don't want to have to explain myself. I did it anyway. Yes, I got an organ recital. And she's like, organ? Like, what, are you a doctor or something? And I'm just like, oh, pipe organ. And it's like, how do you, when people ask you, what do you do, what are you doing here? Do you say you're an organist? Sometimes I just say like, I am playing the piano, because then they don't have to say anything. They don't have to...
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say I'm a pianist though, because then you have to pretend you play the piano.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse than a pianist. No, well, a singer, but apart from that.
Like if you're getting a haircut and the hairdresser's like, yes, what do you do? Do you say I'm an organist?
It's an interesting one. Often I just say I'm a musician. But obviously when you say that, people say, oh, what do you play?
Yeah.
And it depends. Actually, a lot of organists hate talking about what they do because they think it's cringy or boring or whatever.
You should say church organist. That might be...
Well, I say I play the organ, and so there are usually two reactions. It's either like, oh, what is that? Mm-hmm. Or it's like, oh, so do you play like church or rock band or whatever? And just say, I'll just say like I work for the church. That's my day job, and I play the organ for services and play with choirs and all that kind of stuff. And people kind of get the gist. Yeah. And actually, you'd be surprised. A lot of people genuinely do find it interesting, and like because it's not something you come across very often.
I usually have to prefix it with pipe organ, but like organists don't say pipe organ. If you see pipe organ somewhere, it's like, oh, that they actually have no idea what it is. Yeah,
I find the pipe organ. If you say pipe organ, I don't know. I've never really liked the term pipe organ because it makes it sound like a bagpipe or something. Yeah, or like a hooty tooty kind of circus instrument.
Yeah, like pipe organ.
Like I mean, church organ's a bit better, but then when you say church, people automatically think like when they went to church when they were a kid.
Yeah, and think of like hymns and stuff.
Yeah, and like the grandma playing hymns. The amount of people I talk to is like, oh yeah, my granddad plays the organ.
Bit different to you.
Yeah.
What about concert? Maybe say concert organist, but then you discount your role as a liturgical organist.
Yeah,
say concert organist.
And I'm not a concert organist. Like. It probably sounds cooler, but I doubt I'll ever be a concert organist.
The surfing organist.
Yeah.
The cycling organist.
Yeah, the
lycra organist.
The organist that does like things that people do. Yeah. Which is pretty rare. But like people, I think just don't be scared to say what you do, because people actually do find it interesting, and if they don't, then you just move on to another conversation topic.
All right. Well, thanks for this really impromptu chat.
It's probably the most productive chat we've ever had. It's usually just us sitting around going, "Oh, this guy's fat," or something.
This guy's fat.
Or like, "What's your weight?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
See you later.
Ciao.